My name is Mikey Prophet. Welcome to the very first episode of Not All Talk. I don't even need to introduce him, to be fair. You know who we have here, Maxwell D.
Thank you for having me, man. Kix, man. Big
Brilliant.
episodes every time. You know, with support.
Woo!
I thought it was going to be like just me and an interview. I didn't even know it was an audience. So it's nice to have it's nice to have an audience today.
Definitely.
Big up everyone in the room still.
So welcome to the very first episode again. I'm gonna have to go through this one more time. So we make it our business to highlight people whose words only represent a small percentage of their actions rather than a majority. Because as you know, talk is cheap.
Of course.
So with that in mind, again, just a couple more shout outs. So first of all, Kix Mag, Another Level Barbers, you know where to add everyone. Give a shout out to people at Can You See Me Cancer Conference, UKG Brunch, Flex FM, and basically whoever else is watching, to be fair. So
definitely.
Yeah. So basically what we're gonna go on to is just a little bit more about you.
Where do we start?
What you been doing?
Where
you been?
Where have I been? What I'm doing? That's a good question. Sometimes I've been having out of body experiences, like I just on like autopilot.
Yeah.
Mode. So it's like have to stop now, right? Conveyor belt. What have I been doing? Recently, I've been back on. When I wouldn't say back. I just say that recently I've just pushed a single that is actually doing really cool at the moment. So
that's timeless. Right?
Yes, timeless.
Yeah.
It's got people out of their seat dancing. It's you know, giving that old school grime feel that we also love, that gets hype in the dances and that, and also it's just a fun vibe. You know what I mean? It's not about killing nobody. You know, it's not about hurting nobody.
Tune. I listened to it a couple of times. I'll give it a couple of repeats.
It's just like a grime throwback, but not a throwback. If you're not saying we're just saying that we're timeless, and the concept's really about just people from the timeless era that have made great music before. I want everyone to feel that just because you've had a hit once upon a time doesn't mean that, you know, your contribution wasn't there. So what I'm saying that we're putting people like more $5 in it, like, yo, these people are timeless people. Like we go to raise, we hear their songs today. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter 10 years ago. It's timeless.
Like you said, what Return of Your Highness?
This the Return of Your Highness.
I like that still. The tune is a banger. Like I said, listen to it. You know what to do.
The video's crazy right
now. Big.
I'll give you a little sneak preview afterwards still.
No, we need to try and get that in still. I was even going to see if we could get it like played right now. I was going to say that. Can we get something, like, can we do something real quick? That tune there.
Hold you, timeless. Why you think people like this? My music is timeless. It's the return of your highness. Hold you, timeless. I can't hear them jokers. They can't afford my focus. My music is priceless.
What really influenced you to write that song?
Real talk, we done that in lockdown.
Okay.
But I put the hook down at home.
Okay.
I was always in my zone of creation. I always put my ideas at home.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. The beat just gave me that feeling. Like grime. When I attack grime, I can attack it the Yardie version of me, or I attack it the English version.
Yeah.
Sometimes the Yardie version, the Jamaican side of me, is a side that 9 times out of 10 it's more melodic.
It's
a melodic feel. So for me, when it comes to grime of late and how I've developed my style, I can do both. So I was like, you get me?
Of course.
So it was just telling. I felt at the time. Do you know what? I tell you what. To be fair, it's a feeling that I've had inside me that it's crazy that I have this feeling when I go places. And I see a complete new generation, totally there. But then I go in there and it's mad love. And I'm like, what? Like.
But that's what it's supposed to be.
I've seen so many different faces. I've seen the industry shift so many different times. And for the new generation, or anyone in this generation, or anyone in the rooms or wherever I go, to even appreciate me, I'm like, I'm okay, you know. So I already feel that I'm timeless.
No, but you've had more impact than you think still. Like, you probably don't give yourself as much credit because you are who you are.
If I don't humbleize it, then I get lost in the sauce.
I respect it. I respect it.
So I always just keep my feet on the ground that way. But I know it's real. But I don't feed into it too much.
Of course.
So much more work to do.
So
that was but I know what you're saying. But for me, I always felt timeless. So when the song come around, heard the beat, it was for like, I told you, timeless.
No,
and that's just the energy I was feeling. So that's how the song come about.
You put that together. Proper.
And then I thought of the concept. I'm like a chess player when I write songs. I always think like, right, what's the idea? What's the concept?
Yeah.
What would attack it? Where would it fit in the...
build it.
Yeah, and I build it, right?
Yeah.
So already, I told Nico always told Nico tells this story from Warfare. I see him at Asda, innit?
Yeah.
So I ran up him in Asda, I'm just like vexed. He's with his missus as well. I'm like, why you not putting out no tunes on? I'm mad with him, like, he's like, right, he's just like, like, run up on me and Asda.
Yeah. Cool, man.
Nah, man.
Yeah.
Every time I see you, bro, don't just come and, you got talent, man. You got skills. Like, I'm a fan.
Yeah.
Because I've got history with them.
Yeah.
When they first come out with their Oi and the producer that they was working with, that was my brethren. Mad history. You know, I mean, even when I was doing serious PAs, I was bringing them with me on stage. Like, I've done Ghana Independence one time, and I brought Ozzy and Nico on the stage. And that's what Lethal even says in one of these podcasts. He was like, the reason how he come about power now, because he was fuming, is that they're not going to studio with me. But I didn't have that relationship with Lethal because he was like, Ozzy and Nico, they were like, they knew me from the street days. They knew like, So in the music, I always used to pass them by. So I was like, oh, you like doing music? Look at you, them doing the music. Come, look at you, them. Yes. That's because I'm on their older, like, in that way.
No, of course.
So I always showed them love, but I didn't have that with Lethal. You know, he was a part of their group, but I didn't have that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
So when Lethal was telling his story, I even heard Lethal say in his podcast, he was like, yeah, man, I was fuming, man. They was getting studio with Maxwell D, you know? And so that's how Lethal was looking at me. Like, and he was like, yeah, man, I have to go and... He booked Commanders, and then that's how his studio journey came about. Because when he got to the studio, he was saying, I saw in his podcast, he was saying, Rob, they're playing songs, and I was like, right, Maxwell D, hook. Ozzy, Nico verse, tune done, next tune. He's like, right, no verse for me. Like so he got left out. So, but that was not intentional. It just wasn't in my circle like that. So with Ozzy and Nico, I always looked at them. I was like, nah, man. You know, I saw their journey, and I was like, so more fire Oi. Nah, man, you man have to come. So I was stuck to it. I was like, I'm gonna put these lot on it. You know what I'm saying? These two, I'm gonna. You know what I mean?
And you knew it already. That was like a test move. Like
and obviously Dollar for me is an artist, another artist that he come in the grime scene, but didn't really like blossom. His aerial didn't really broadcast high enough, but I remember him. If you're in the scene, you know all the little, because he's got similar style to me. Where he can do both. So he's a yard man as well. You know what I mean? And he used to call himself Dollar the Dustman. So I was always been a face like a dog's in it. So there's certain people like ourselves that do the similar style. You know what I mean? So for me, I was like, I've always been a fan. So but with him, he's such a humble kid. Shows me mad love. Looks up to me in many ways. So I'm like, nah, man, I'm gonna come under my arm. I'm gonna fire you up. You. So we have conversations about the business and the music industry, and I just. So that's how that song come about.
In
a nutshell.
So, this is a question that I'd definitely like to know. How did Maxwell D come to be?
It's mad because I say this all the time, and when me and my brethren sit down, he's like, I named him Maxwell D, you know? So every time someone says that to me, I think of him. So I want to big up Genie from Leighton. Everyone knows him as Genie from Leighton. He's my foster brother, really. You know what I'm saying? My foster brother, I don't know. He said there was some guy. I used to like dressing designers at a very young age. So I was going to like telepathy. 4 in the morning, orange, outside. So I'd be outside leaving his mum's house, and I'd be in Patrick Cox shoes, flowered up, squirted up, but blazer though. Like, so I'm some 14-year-old, 15-year-old in blazers and Patrick Cox. So he said, I don't know, reminded him of someone called Maxwell. So he was like,
what, the singer?
No, nothing to do with the singer. There's someone that
he knew.
He thought it was like Maxwell always just dressed sharp or crook, basically. He's always scheming.
Fair.
That was that was his concept of it. So for me, I was just like, alright, cool, say nothing. They kept on calling me Maxwell one weekend, and it was getting on my nerves. Like, Maxwell, you just Maxwell. You know, your friends tease me. I was like, and then afterwards, everyone that passed you after that, couple of weeks later, a month later, everyone was like, Max. And it just stayed. And I just added a D in it as initials of my first name, and that was it. Maxwell D was born.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
So that comes from more or less dress sense.
If anything else. No, fair enough. So, so how did you deal with COVID and lockdown?
COVID was mad, you know. Everyone was on pause, but I wasn't. I was signed. It's mad.
So you was good.
yeah.
So your team was still rolling while everyone else was on pause.
It did basically.
Yeah.
It was weird because it was a gift and a curse, innit? Like,
Yeah.
It's like blocked a lot of things from blossoming from it.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, I
in
was
terms of being able to do stuff and get yourself out there.
Yeah, couldn't promote it.
Yeah.
We had something in the back, so I done a serious 2020 remix with like Novelist and Temper T, and it was for their.
Check that out as well.
Yeah, check that out. That was for their Against All Odds project that they done, and it was for their little drama series that they had on Channel U at the time or whatever. And so we just done a remix, and we had. I was trying to think who else was on it. My brethren. I can't. His name's in my head, but I can't say his name out loud. Imagine that. Capo Lee.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, Capo, big up Capo. Sorry, that was like my boy. But yeah, big up Capo. So that we done that in lockdown. Yeah, that was a lot of promotion. Yeah, you know, everyone's in COVID. Man's got posters. Yeah, man's face was like, I was like, driving around like, I ain't seen my face in a poster for a minute. Like the big posters was like, everyone's just like with their COVID masks and lockdown, and I'm just like, So I was in a different space. Don't get me wrong. Family, my nan got ill, I got ill, like loads of people got ill. We was going through the motions, little bit. Of course. Not gonna express my personal opinions on COVID. Yeah, let's leave that alone. But let's leave that alone. Bag of crosses, it's a bag of crosses. So I was alright. Yeah, the mask won't help it.
It didn't help or not help.
It was just some material.
We'll leave that one alone. So
basically,
no, definitely.
I just done the best in the situation, but don't get it twisted. It was at first it was wobbly because that didn't come till like early, like later down the year. COVID started, the schools started locking off in March. Yeah. So a lot of things started changing from that little first March bit to say about summer was an itch. Yeah. Summer was a bit of an itch. Yeah. Because they started shutting it down slowly and it was slowly, like complete lock off.
Because it wasn't a straight lock off. It was bit by bit. Everything gradually locked down.
When you got I tell you what, I did suffer with the shows. And not being able to perform. I felt weird. The first performance out of COVID was mad. Like it was like I went to the gym. Yeah. Like, so was that your... Yeah, the testosterone was out the body. I was skipping up and down the stage. I was like, oh God, I'm so happy to be here. Yeah. I missed this. So I didn't be feeling normal. Yeah. Like, oh yeah, I feel back to normal.
So was that your first move out of COVID shows?
Yeah, straight away. I needed to connect.
Get back out there.
Yeah, because you've been in the box for a little while. They still love me. Your brain's mad, you know. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man.
Restriction over.
So what we're gonna say, enough of what we've been talking about. Okay. You know what we're gonna probably move on to next.
Go for it. Let me hear. Let's see what.
Let's talk about Place CIC.
Oh, bloody hell. That old chestnut.
Come on. I remember, me personally, I remember it from like school days.
To be fair, Place CIC was really like under 2 years.
Yeah. Okay.
But as a group.
Okay.
So people like when I speak about it, I'm like, right, we done a lot in 18 months.
You did? No.
But we was friends prior around that, like all different parts of us. Okay. So me, Wiley, Target, Ladies Hit Squad. Okay. So that was separate to that. Plus, they were my friends from Jungle Days on Rinse FM. So we was all at the station together.
Who was Cartel?
Now, Cartel we was called Place CIC Crew, but when we got signed to Sony, they were like, we want to be a bit different. Like, we just want to call ourselves the Cartel. Like mafia kind of style, you know, whatever. So it was like, Place CIC Cartel.
Yeah. Right. Was that what? Like, you're right there on there.
Nah, I don't think we might be geniuses out there. I can't remember
who came up with it. Okay.
Yeah, but it just looked good on the label. Yeah. We want another crew. Like, there's so many crews. Like, another crew. Like, no, we're the Cartel.
Yeah,
no. Dominant. Yeah, that was the concept behind it. So
it served you well.
We just wanted to stand out, innit?
It served you well. It definitely served you well. So
no one's actually asked me that, you know. Funny enough, that's the first time I've got to explain that. Yeah. So it's new to explain.
So, in terms of like what's been going on for you since, like, obviously, like being into music and obviously doing what you're doing now, like, have you branched out to anything else? Do you have any other businesses? What other things do you do?
So I'm also a music teacher.
Okay.
Yeah, and obviously I'm a mentor, and I do workshops in prisons and like schools, universities, and talks. So
serious?
I've turned, like, for me, as I got older,
yeah,
and I saw my son growing up older, I kind of realised that, like, you know what, okay, I've made a mark in this world as a musician,
of course,
and stuff like that. But then, do I really want my son to be influenced by music?
Yeah, based on what's going on at the moment.
Yeah, because it's different. They take it different.
Different.
We grew up to our parents. Slow wine, dancing, like it was like
coins.
What? Man was shanking.
It's like Mario. What? Coins. That's collecting live on that. Yeah. Like, it's mad.
So I'm like, and I know that energy.
I
come from that energy.
Yeah, of course.
I was projecting
from
that energy.
From your upbringing and
as a child, as a teenager. So when you become a responsible adult now,
you start to think of it differently.
You have different responsibilities. So for me, I'm like, okay, my son's watching me now. Like consciously, not 3-5-year-old.
No,
he's a teenager.
Watching what you do.
So I'm like, well, what do I want? You know, what is the world that we're living in today? How do what can I do in this world that we're living in today? Can I set as Maxwell D? What can I add to this world?
On your platform as well, which is a fairly large one.
So I come from the street, and I've done all that side of it. I've got the music influence, so let me put it all together, and let me just kind of brand that and pull it out to the kids and see if I can change some lives. And so I leave a different, not just a music legacy, I can actually leave a legacy as an indivial, as a person, that like I can change lives.
Once you're done and dusted, this is what I stood for.
Come on,
Max told me for PM.
But no, I'll ban it all down. I'll ban it all down. The whole mess will be a smoke. I'll ban it all down.
Tell the truth. You can do. Tell the truth.
That's all we can do, my brother. So yeah, man.
No, I respect it. So, who or what inspires you?
Right, that's a good question. It's what inspires me daily? Family.
Yeah.
I don't know. Everyone asks me that. What's your drive, man?
What is that? What gets you up every morning?
Addicted, bro.
Yeah.
I'm a cracker to music.
Yeah.
I see my day now. I can't shake it off. And people won't let me. I can't go somewhere. Someone's always messing with that.
You. Yeah.
Yo, you're that guy, innit? I swear you sing that song. I don't want to talk to no one today. So it's hard work, bro.
Yeah.
Man from the street, we always had that elegance of star boy life. Like, man's always a trendsetter.
Of course.
Man's always like groomed himself. Not for gal, just for
for
himself. Like, my mum raised me well. Iron clothes. Make sure they match. Don't go with that. That's my mother. So that for me, my mum was.
Ended up.
So that was like.
No man, you can't take care of himself.
That is exactly what it was for me. So I kind of left my household with that. So whenever I went into music, whatever I went into, that was always my prestige. Like that was my coat of armor.
Yeah.
So So what inspires me, I would actually say, is just like. I don't know, man. Self-belief, I suppose. Self-belief. My children, like my mum. My mum's my number one fan. There's bare times I wanted to just throw it all away, and she's gone. Which part? I'll write to PD myself.
You know what? That's
like, I'll write to him myself. You need to listen to my son.
There you go.
He's got talent.
There you go.
Don't you ever? So she said she used to read to me a lot when she was pregnant.
Oh.
You know, so she read books a lot, read lots of stories. She's like, I knew he was gonna be a talker. I knew at the age of 2, you got lost, and you got lost, and the feds found me, and the popo was like, like, you know, little 2-year-old, 2.5-year-old guy was free. Gave the address where I lived. I directed him. He taking me home, bro.
There you go.
I know where I come from. At a young age.
You say navigate back home.
Yeah, I was going to school by myself, man. Like, I lived in New Peckham Estate, so I used to go over the estate on my own. I used to go to my little nursery and that on my own. Like, it was calm. I was very streetwise. Very young. My uncles they're like my older brothers.
Okay. So it was North. So you lived in what, North Peckham, Leighton?
So my journey, the travel journey. So let me give you a quick brief one to kind of break it down. Nan came from Jamaica. Nan and Grandma come from Jamaica, Windrush era. They moved to Wembley with the whole family, all in one house, the whole saga. They send for people, everyone over. She's in Wembley. Then Granddad and that moved to more like Northwest. So Harsden is the family, the crown. So we're Northwest based. Then Nan just gets a place. Nan moves to Peckham. Peckham, my dad's coming from his mum, same Jamaica, not Windrush, but he's coming from East End and Hackney. So his mum's moved to Peckham. My mum and my dad have met. Then they conceived me. young, yeah? So
Yeah,
they're two
Star is
teams.
born.
Yeah, there you go. I'm born in Dulwich Hospital.
Yeah.
I'm Peckham for up to the age of 6, 7, 8. My nan leaves North Peckham Estate, gets a house in East London,
Okay.
Leighton.
Okay.
So my mum is my nana like that. So my mum always followed wherever my nan went.
Yeah,
She
went.
My mum went.
Yeah.
My mum moves over to Leighton, East London, 8 and 10. But my dad still lives in Peckham.
Cool.
So my whole life journey was being Leighton and Peckham, east to south, east to south. Yeah. So anything around those boroughs, like moving in North London, that's why I know a lot of people from North London. My family from Harlem.
Yeah.
You know, I grew up in East London, so that's Leighton,
Yeah,
and then being South.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then I went to school in South as well.
Yeah.
So I'm fully
So
London.
you've done you've done the rounds.
Yeah, I've
okay.
done it. So that's my section.
So in terms of like back to the music side of things, like obviously you've done, like from my understanding and from a lot of other people's understanding as well, with the music that you've done, where's it taking you? Like what have you seen?
Right. My best friend, so when I got married, my best man, wedding his name.
Congrats.
Yeah, I'm 3 years in. I'm in 3 years in. I'm 3.5 years in, bro. So that's a separate podcast. That's a whole next podcast.
No, I respect it.
Now, marriage is a good thing still, I'm not going to lie, but that's a whole next podcast. But basically, yeah, so best man at my wedding, he's from Los Angeles.
Oh,
and yeah,
okay.
he's my brother, man. Like, Sri Lankan, best producer in the world. Like, he's like my Dre.
Yeah.
And I mean, we met on MySpace in like 2005.
Oh wow.
And,
okay.
yeah, I went over to America just on a whim. Like, yo, it's mad because you know when MySpace days was, I was like going through stuff, and you know you just dream in it. You go into like the superstar pages and you think, wow, these are mega stuff.
Yeah.
But what I was is, I'm always a networker. I'm looking through the comments and
Yeah.
like, who's connecting with who, and I looked and I was clicking on different people's pages. And I clicked on some Canadian girl's page, some singer.
Yeah.
And then on her page, she was some Canadian singer. She was on Dr. Dre's page, and then clicked on her page, and then I saw some producer bigging her up or whatever. So I clicked on his page, and that was my best friend to this day.
Oh,
so
wow.
I'm looking at his page, and I'm like, Kelly Rowland, like I'm saying like Beyonce remix.
That's what we call serendipity.
So I was like,
yeah, that's crazy.
Yo, bro, you saw beats?
Yeah.
so he's going, yeah, what's your budget? I'm like, scratching my head. Well, I'm independent, yeah, and I don't know. Like, goes, I said, what? Would you say like what? $5 a beat?
Yeah.
Just threw out a number.
Yeah.
And he goes, yeah, I can work with that, and that was it. And then I had to do the next leap of faith, was go to Western Union and just send £500 into the air.
Yeah. To some randomer.
Don't know what
at the time.
That's what I'm saying. This is what I say about music. It's more to it than just talent. You know what I'm saying?
Circumstance.
Yeah. You got the stars have to align sometimes. Energy. So I sent him the money, and then he sent me a clip of the beats with three beats to pick from. I sent him the money. He sent me the full version of the tune.
Wow.
I vocaled it.
Wow.
It was one of the tunes that we done on Channel U. I shot a video to it.
Oh wow.
And then what happened is, because I shot a video to it, and he really saw that I was serious.
Yeah.
He was like, "Yo, bro, loving what you done." And I sent him my mixtape. And on my mixtape, I done like a mixture. I done hip hop. I done grime. I done some dancehall stuff.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Yo,
yeah,
I didn't know you had this dancehall twang." In America, they don't get it like that. You know what I'm saying? There's not really much Jamaicans in California. They're more in like New York and Miami.
Yeah.
So he was like, "Yo, you are the real deal."
Yeah.
He goes, "Yo, like, would you come over?" I'm like, "Bro, where you live again?" It's in California. So what? Is there blood and grips over there? Yeah.
No, I respect it. No, I respect it.
That's what I was like, California, my one. That's the whole next thing. You get me?
No, I definitely respect
it. So, but he goes, "No, my parents. Like, I met my parents. They live outside. They live in Laverne. Like, it's cool." Went to him, and I just got on the plane, bro. My son's mum at the time, she worked for British Airways, so you know the who knows about them things, the ID90s, standbys. Yeah. You know, might have to get a jump seat if you're not lucky, but I'm getting there. On a cheap one. You get me? Yeah. So I got there comfortably. Yeah. And that was my that was the journey. That took me to America. Okay. So that was my initial breakthrough in America.
Yeah.
And then after that, I say that other places will just be on shows like, you know, Europe, all over the place. Where else?
Any obscure places that you never thought you'd end up going?
Man,
Like,
I've been in some mad places.
Because I know music takes you to places that you wouldn't envision.
Yeah, I done a massive show in Estonia, bro. They made me feel like a superstar. Wow.
Okay.
You are a superstar.
Where was that?
Now, do you know what it is? When I say made me feel like a superstar,
It's the reception.
I would have been
the reception was crazy.
I felt like Diddy.
Yeah, the reception was crazy.
They,
Nah.
you know,
Massive
massive
thing off my shoulder.
yeah, it was a massive show. You know, they made me feel comfortable. We done a tune in the studio. They took me around. Obviously, I've never been to a
Appreciate it.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
mad. It was
Yeah.
mad. So that was in Europe. But I've been to mad places though, like all over the place. I could say like America, you know, Yard, whatever, every loads of places. You know what I mean? Music has made me well travelled.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for music, I don't
You
know, it might have been a
probably
bit
would've
ignorant.
been- yeah, to the world.
I think a lot of ignorance comes from not being well travelled. A lot of kids in the ghetto are stuck in the ghetto.
Yeah.
And that is a true
Because they
thing.
don't know that there's
Yeah,
stuff
because
outside
the
of that.
third world ghetto and
Yeah.
art ghetto is two different
Totally
ghettos.
different
So
things.
maybe when you see
For
real
real.
ghettos,
Yeah,
you
they
appreciate
don't
that.
understand what you're living in.
So
No,
I'm saying.
100%.
You know what I mean?
And that's the problem, innit? With a lot of them, they don't
Yeah.
understand that.
That's
There's a
what I
massive
think.
difference.
Your music precedes you. Is that what happened? Your music preceded you.
Do you know what it is? With the music thing, it was more of a vibe where I'd say, I felt that what people knew me for, the tunes that they knew me for, was not really the depth of who I am as a person. Like, and I think that when certain things happened to me in my career, that's when I started turning into the real me. Like, because obviously, when you're doing like grime and it's all competitive and
So you have to catch
garage
up with music.
I say no, not even that. I said the music caught up with. I just started being real with the music.
Yeah.
Like just speaking my truth
Yeah.
with the music.
Yeah.
Not like man weren't speaking it before, but
Yeah.
it was just one-sided, like
Yeah.
road.
You started
Yeah.
concentrating on what you were
You
saying.
start
Yeah,
talking about a spectrum
like,
of things.
I'll be more honest.
Yeah, yeah,
I'll be
yeah,
like,
yeah, of
I talk
course.
about stories about
Yeah.
you know my son, my
Yeah,
life,
yeah,
my mum,
yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
whatever. Just kept it real.
Yeah.
Man kept it real.
Yeah, but that's what it is.
Yeah, after a while, man just had to go, you know what, forget everything, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
I'm just going to talk it as it is.
No,
Especially when
definitely.
you start speaking about your child, your children.
100%.
That's what I tell her. I say, you know what, that's what the man decides, like, it's what I say is important,
100%.
because they're
No,
listening too.
therefore,
Right.
therefore. So with that being the case, in terms of like, obviously, like I've listened to your music, so I know you're a bars man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I know that personally, yeah. So I'll definitely give you. I'll pay the homage. What would you say is your hardest like bars you've ever written? Like,
I don't think they've been written yet.
for real?